Here I found a 1959 Peugeot 403 that's been sitting in a garage since 1990. You can see by the license plate, it was last licensed in California in 1990. The motor is stuck. I'm going to try to get it unstuck so I can get it running. Overall, I got it covered because it's raining today and it's outside, but I'm trying to keep it dry, so I'm going to go ahead and put some oil down the cylinders, let it soak, and see what I can do with it. Okay, here's the back of that Peugeot 403. I uncovered it so I can get into the trunk and show you a unique feature on this one. This is where you put your gas. And there's no gas cap because it seals it on the bottom. But when I first got the car a couple days ago, this is what was in the trunk. Some of the pieces I took off. The gas filler tube where it comes in through the taillight goes right there into the gas tank. And it looks pretty cruddy in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pour a gallon of acetone in there because it's kind of like sludge. So I took this battery tie down strap thing here and I kind of sludged it around in here. And it's kind of, I'll show you on the camera. Yeah, the old fuel after setting since 1990 has kind of turned to sludge. So what I like to do is go buy a gallon of acetone, I'll pour it down that hole. That'll kind of dissolve away the sludge and a lot of times saves the gas tank. There's a few old parts in here, door handles, hubcap, just some odds and ends, brake drum. But overall, it's a pretty clean old car. We'll look at the interior in just a few minutes. Let me pour this in here. And I'm going to shut the trunk back up and put the cover back on because it's still raining. I don't know if we can see in here, but I'll try to show you. You can see where the acetone already cleaned off that spot where I was just pouring it in. I mean, it breaks right through that old tarry stuff. Eats it right up and it'll liquefy it so I can get it back out of the tank. Trying to get a thing of the mileage for you. It's just too dark in here and my flashlight doesn't want to work, and that's what I get for using my phone. But anyway, it says 74,016 miles, which I'm assuming is probably correct. That's about as far as these things went before they were wore out from what I've read. But the engines, and another tip, when you're using the acetone, it evaporates really quickly. So I did spill a little bit, but it'll evaporate. But I put a glass jar over it with some tape around it to seal it so that it won't, it'll stay in there and it won't just evaporate so quick and not do its job. I'll come out in a couple of days and pull the drain plug out of the tank and drain it back out and run some fresh gas through it. But I can already tell just by looking at it that all that stuff just immediately was gone. So, and the gas tank looks real clean inside, so hopefully everything will be good there. Now let's look at the interior. All right, I pulled the spark plugs out. They're kind of funny looking. They're on a big long spring. It's a Hemi head, so they go down inside the cylinder. And the spark plug wires actually fit in the hole. You can see they kind of go in there. And they twist and lock. So they're locked in place. And then you untwist them and pull them out. And then they go over that big spring. That's different. I've never seen that before. I'm going to set the phone down here and pour some oil in the back where the oil goes. a hole in the back of the engine. It had an oil cap that said Mobile Oil, which is kind of funny for a made in France car. The engines in these little cars, little 1.5 Hemi head, they had sleeves. So if they got a little tired, got a little wore out, pop the head off, pull the sleeves out. You put brand new pistons and sleeves in there. And as far as the top end goes, you're pretty good to go. You know, just quick overhaul. You can pull the pan with the engine in the car, I believe. There's plenty of room, and you could throw a set of bearings in too and rebuild your motor in an afternoon. And keep chugging along. I've got some Marble Mister Oil here. I'm going to dump that down all the cylinder holes. There's 4 of them there. Yeah, and fill up the cylinders and get it soaking. I already filled it up with oil. I put about 3 gallons of oil in it. Filled the rocker clear to the top. So hopefully that'll soak a little bit from the inside. And then see, she's got a hand crank. If your starter didn't work, you could hand crank it. Somebody's bent it quite a bit, probably maybe putting a bar on it, see if they could get the old engine to turn, because he does not turn. But I'm not going to try to force it. I'm going to do this, then maybe put a screwdriver on the flywheel and see if I can turn it after it soaks for a few days. I'm going to put this phone down again and do that. There, I put some of that oil down the cylinders. And you can't see it. I can't see it either. And I broke my inspection camera last week working on one of these mini Toyota pickups that I have around here. And a parts car for my Renault. And my other little Toyota pickup. And different. So I need to go buy a new inspection camera now. Look down these cylinders and see what's on it. But that's all I wanted to do for today, is just get some oil in here and get that in there and get it soaking and see what might happen here in a few days.